Kids in our street had been there, and they'd told me all about it. We had to make an early start, but I was so excited I was sitting on the front step dressed in my Sunday best, eagerly waiting for our special day together. We took the bus to the railway station where we caught the train. I can't remember much of the 2-hour journey. I guess anticipation made the time fly. When we arrived, I could see the big wheel of the fairground in the distance, slowly going around, the carriages full of people laughing and waving. That would be me soon, I thought to myself, clasping my father's hand firmly in mine. I was terrified of losing him in the crowd. At the fairground, Dad put me on a couple of smaller rides, saying we could have a go on the bigger ones later. He brought us each an ice cream, and I was really beginning to enjoy myself, looking around and planning which ride I'd go on next. While we were walking along, Dad bumped into a man he knew. The man had his 3 sons with him, all slightly older than me. Like us, they were there for a day out together. We joined them, Dad talking to his friend, me trailing along behind the 3 older boys, who ignored me. I felt much smaller and younger than them, so I just kept quiet, thinking about the adventures to come. After a few minutes, we stopped outside a pub. Dad put his hand in his pocket and pulled out half a crown. "Take this, son," he said. "I'm going in here for a pint with my friend, so you run along with these lads and have fun. Just be good and don't get lost. Don't worry about me. I'll be in here." As Dad and his friend disappeared inside, I turned around to the other boys, but they'd vanished. I caught sight of them running into the fairground and reckon they must have been so excited at the thought of spending the money their dad had given them they forgot to wait for me. Anyway, I didn't want to be with them. I wanted to be with my dad. Just the 2 of us going on all those promised big rides together. I stood there not knowing what to do, a 7-year-old rooted to the ground, too frightened to move, terrified of getting caught up in the crowds and lost. My father hadn't mentioned the name of the pub, and even if I'd been able to see the sign, I wouldn't have been able to read it. What if Dad couldn't find me? Or even forget he'd bought me and left me stranded? I didn't think I could find my way to the train station on my own. I certainly wouldn't know which train to catch or where to get off. Waves of panic were beginning to engulf me, and I decided that the best thing to do was to get as close to the pub door I'd seen Dad go in and stay there until he came out. My half-crown was burning a hole in my pocket. I kept touching it to make sure I hadn't lost it. I wanted to look at it, but felt it best to keep it hidden in case some bigger lad tried to steal it from me. I so wanted to buy something for myself. But I didn't want to lose sight of the pub door, and there were no shops close enough, so I could only wistfully look at the other kids walking past, wearing funny hats, eating sticks of rock and enjoying themselves as kids should on a special day out. Time passed slowly. It was hot. I was thirsty, and I needed a wee. I plucked up courage to nip around the back of the pub, but I had to hurry as I was terrified Dad had come out and find me gone. The 3 other lads eventually came back, full of stories of the rides they'd been on. I wasn't interested. I just wanted to get back home to my mum. When he finally staggered out, it was easy to see that Dad had been drinking heavily. He had to hold on to me for support as we walked along. He'd forgotten where the station was. I had to ask for directions. He fell asleep on the train, unaware of the 7-year-old next to him, and his drunken snores were an embarrassment. I remember wishing he was not my dad. Mum never let him take me out for the day again. I kept the half-crown hidden for a couple of weeks, and then, one day when I knew Mum needed some extra pennies to buy food, I gave it to her, telling her it was from my day out with Dad. She always tried to protect us from my father's antics, but we all knew. My brother and 2 sisters were older and had a greater awareness of what was going on than I did. But there is one memory we all share. We were the last family in our street to get a television set. Mum couldn't afford to buy one and had gone into debt paying the deposit on a slot TV. We had to insert a shilling into the meter at the back, which made it the most expensive way of viewing, but it was the only one she could afford. She was so proud of it and put it in the best room, our front parlour. I remember